Hi there, welcome to Serendipity. Today I'm going to bring you along as I do a few things around the garden. So this is going to be another garden with me. For today, I have several seeds that I'm going to sow with my daughter, along with a few other tasks like securing the trellis to the T-post, and then just tidying things up around the garden, and then giving you updates on the plants. For today, the seeds that I want to sow are the early snowball cauliflower. Looks like this. I recently picked this one up along with the rainbow mixed carrot. I've been trying to get these in the ground for a few days now and I'm just getting around to them. I'm going to sow some more sugar snap peas. These are from Baker Creek. Some Oregon giant snow peas from M.I. Gardner. Wow. Early scarlet globe radish. Picked this one up at Lowe's. Scarlet Nantes carrot. Spinach. By the way, I bought these little envelopes from Amazon. They came in a box with a ton of them in there, and that's what I use to store my seeds, just so that they're more uniform. Some more arugula, roquet arugula, and some little finger carrots. So I'm just putting them in the Ziploc bag so it's easier to carry around. After I rearranged the garden, I have one bed that's pretty much empty, so it's ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do before I start sowing the seeds is setting it up, and I'm going to do that by laying down some chicken wire and then pinning it down with landscape pins. So these are the areas that I want to finish. This section right here is where I had a Don Juan rose, so I need to cover up the bald spot. Here, I don't have anything growing yet. I might just leave that portion open just in case I wind up popping some more flowers in there that I've started in seed trays. Right here, I pulled out an okra plant, which I regret so much because my other okra plants are finally flowering, as you can see there. And I could have gotten more of a harvest had I left that one there, but if you guys saw my grape video, you guys will see that I removed it for no reason really. And then this is pretty much the empty bed that I want to fill up this time around. I have my chicken wire cut to size. And I recommend you use gloves for this because there's been times when I don't, and it will really mess up your hands. The cool thing about it is that you can sort of maneuver it however you want.
It hurts your
And then you can also stretch it out.
And mommy, it hurts your hands.
It does hurt your hands. I have some scrap pieces already here from the last roll that I bought a few months ago. So I'm gonna remove those for now, and I will still use them around the garden, and I might add some here if I still need some. But I think this should be long enough. So I sort of stretch it out so that it fits the width of the bed. And that makes the openings a little bit wider.
I've been living in paradise, and no more waiting on you tonight. And my dreams will never ever die. Can you feel that spark in our bones tonight?
The next thing I like to do before I start putting my seeds down is I like to go through and write down the name of every seed on these little seed labels or garden labels. That way I can go ahead and decide exactly where I want to put my rows, and it makes it easier to do it in the beginning versus at the end and then not remember what seeds I placed where.
I'm gonna reach higher.
just finished reseeding with my daughter, and now I'm gonna work on the trellises. So these are pretty much just cattle panels anchored down by T-posts, and I was using zip ties that I bought at, I think it was either Walmart or Lowe's. Zip ties are really inexpensive. They're like 100 for under $2 or under $3. So they work really good if you want to put your trellises somewhere where they're temporary, if you plan on moving them around somewhere, or if you just want to trellis things that are more lightweight. And they've worked really good. I've used zip ties for about 4 or 5 months, and most of them stayed on. However, because I live in Arizona and it gets really hot here, I feel like it weakens the plastic over time. So after a few months, some of them just snap right off. The trellises never moved, and whenever I saw that some zip ties had come off, I just went in and added some more. But now that I'm planning to trellis grapes on some of these trellises, I want them to be as sturdy as possible. So I picked up these T-post clips. This is a horrible representation. They look like this. I got a pack of 25 for about 60 to 63 cents at Lowe's, so they're super inexpensive. And there's a certain tool that you can use to put them on. I just don't know what it's called or where you can buy it, so I'm just using some needle nose pliers. Basically, I hook one end and then I bring it around the T-post, and then I use my pliers to anchor it down, just like that. And you can leave it like that, but I like to take my pliers again and just bend the wire. So that this is not going anywhere. And then that way when the grapevines start growing up, I don't have to worry about the zip ties snapping off. I know that grapevines over time, the what is it called? The canes become really hard and tough and very strong. So I want the T-posts to be as secure as possible so that they maintain their shape. I'm gonna bring you guys in to do one more example. I am gonna go back to Lowe's and buy another pack so that I can add a few more to each side. I know it's not necessary. I just want things to be extra secure. So again, I just snap it around like that, and then I start to bend the wire. Just like that. There you go. Now this thing is not moving anywhere and it's really secure. I feel like this is gonna last a very long time. Now, if you want these to be more temporary, I don't know if you want to do this because it's gonna be kind of hard to take these off. But if you want to put your trellises in a spot where you're not planning to move them anymore, these clips are a great find. And if I didn't already say this, you can find them, or at least I found them, in the gate section of my Lowe's where they had T-posts and chicken wire. So it's all in the exact same section of the garden center. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish the rest of the trellises and then I'll be right back. I'm finally done reseeding and securing the trellises with those little metal hooks. I'm gonna go to Lowe's possibly tomorrow to pick up some more and then finish securing everything down. I want at least 4 on each post just to make sure that it's not going anywhere. And after that, I don't think I'll need to add any more. So for under $2 to get metal ones, I recommend those over the zip ties, unless you plan on just putting your trellises in places for just a short period of time. Then you're probably better off just using zip ties. That way you can easily remove them. Oh, but also if you're planning on trellising things that are a bit heavier, maybe the metal ones will work better as well. Before I finish watering the garden, I thought I'd just walk you through it a little bit and show you some of the bigger updates. The other day I came out here and I staked up these tomatoes because I moved the trellises over there and I already had vining tomatoes over here. I had to figure out a way to support them, so I just took some bamboo stakes I put about 3 with each tomato plant, and then I tied them at the top with some cotton twine that I found at Dollar Tree. So my tomatoes continue to flower, but so far I still only have 1 tomato, which is this one right here. This is a Tommy Toe tomato. That's literally the only one I have on all of my tomato plants, and that's because, I don't know, I just didn't have that much luck with tomatoes this season. I still have time, so maybe I will get a few out of these. The plants look really good and really healthy, and they've bounced back. So now I'm just waiting for some fruit, but they're huge. The second update is that my mustard greens are out of control. I mean, they have seriously just taken over this entire bed. And there's a few that are pulled out because my kids have been coming in here and pulling them out. Honestly, they were having contests about who could eat more. I will say, is there a certain way that you guys cook mustard greens or eat them? Because I planted a ton of them thinking that they would be delicious, more like tender greens that I could put in salads and other dishes. And then a few weeks ago, I used some of them when they were much smaller. I put them in a salad, and when we were eating the salad, they have such a strong taste to them that I was like, oh, I really did not like them. So maybe I just need to look up some recipes and try to hide them in dishes where their flavor is not so prominent, because on their own, they're just very strong. I was really surprised because my son, actually, I had him try some, and he's not a picky eater at all, guys. And he started eating them like they were lettuce. Like, he was just munching on them like normal, and I kept staring at him, and I was like, you think they're good? And he's like, good. And I was like, all right, at least somebody in this house enjoys them. I also added some stakes right here for my beans, which is my sad attempt at trellising them. I feel like I should weave some string or twine through them to give it a little bit more support, but it's getting a lot colder and I feel like the beans aren't really gonna make it. So if I see that they continue to grow, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But for the meantime, I'm just gonna let them climb up these stakes, and then we'll see how long they last before the cold takes them out. Once I remove them from that bed, I'm gonna bring them over to this one where I have some sugar snap peas. They look so sad right now. They were starting to climb up the trellis, and then I moved the trellis, and now they just sort of flopped over because they need something to hang on to. So I definitely need to put some stakes over here. It's just that I used pretty much all of the ones that I had on the other beds. Okay, now as for my okra, in previous videos I mentioned how I didn't know whether the side shoots like these were for okra or for more leaves, and turns out that they are for more okra. So there's one of the flowers right there. There's a few other ones that have been popping up and falling off already. So I feel like I'm gonna get to harvest okra very, very soon. As you guys know, I've struggled to get anything to grow in this bed, and now it's one of the fullest ones in my entire garden. Earlier today, I came out here, and for days I've been staring at the radishes, and I've been just itching to pick one and try it. And today I finally gave in and I tried one, and they're so good, you guys. And what makes me so happy is that my son loves them. So after I picked one up, it was obviously not fully mature yet. It was still a baby radish. It was so good, and I wanted them to try it, and my son ate like 2 more. And I had to be like, all right, buddy, we need to save these because we can just eat them like candy. They're really good and so crunchy. Thanksgiving is going to be this upcoming weekend, and the days are still really warm here. They feel nice, but they're still really warm. It doesn't always feel like fall. As you know, with pumpkins and other plants, they open up in the mornings, and in the afternoons they close up. And my daughter had come out with me one morning and she saw them open, and then later that afternoon we came out again, and she kept telling me that they were being tricky flowers. They were like, "Mommy, they're tricking you. I saw them open this morning. They're still alive." And I was like, it's so cute that she thinks that they're just trying to trick us. Little does she know that they pretty much already did their job. I'm very hopeful that maybe I will get to try one of these blauhide beans. Look at these. I mean, how long does it take for them to ripen? Maybe I can try just one. Even if I can try just one, I'll be happy with that. If I get 2, I'll just try one and use the other one to save seeds. That's one of my goals for this year, is even if I don't get to try a ton of things from the garden, I want to at least save as many seeds as I can. I'm trying to think of it sort of like a business, you know, like you're not going to just spend all the money, you're going to put some money back into the business. And that's what I'm trying to do with the seeds. I'm like, do I have to buy seeds again next year? Even if I just save one pod, that's enough for a few more plants, and then I can just continue to multiply that. And then next season, I can just eat as many as I want because I know that I've saved some seeds. I think because of the shortage of seeds that I've seen on different websites, I just want to make sure that I have enough for next year. And if that means not tasting a bean just to make sure that I save some seeds and have some in stock for next season, then I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to sacrifice not tasting my harvest. This is my pineapple guava, and I love it so much. I cannot wait until we start getting fruit off of it. I know it's gonna take some time, but still, it's an awesome plant. And it looks so beautiful. I want to come in here and take off all of these new shoots because I want to train it to grow up like a tree versus a shrub. So I'm just waiting a little bit just because I don't want to mess with it too much since I just put it into the ground a few days ago. So it's funny because my husband told me, make sure that you don't start taking over the entire yard. And I'm trying to cover up the brick walls with more greenery and then also provide a little bit more shade and try to cool down some other areas of the grassy portion of our yard for the kids. So I'm gonna go through and show you guys the plants that I have here and give you a little update on something that's really been bothering me, but I don't know. Let me just go ahead and talk to you about it. I placed a large order of plants from an online nursery a week ago, and I received them about 2 days ago. I was really excited when I got them because this is the first time I've ever ordered anything online in regards to live plants. I've ordered seeds before and I've had really good luck. But these plants, as you can see, they're not looking so great. And I know that in transit, a lot of the times they'll drop their leaves, but all of these plants had black spots all over them. I removed some of the other leaves and some of them just fell off, but they had so many black spots on them. I paid a lot of money for them. I paid more than I should have. I just wanted to support a smaller business, and I thought I was gonna get healthy plants, not ones that were not in the best of conditions. That's one of the plants that I got, and this is another one. The plants that did have any leaves on them had damage to the leaves or bug damage. This one's one of the ones that looks, you know, not as bad as the other ones. I feel like this sunshine blueberry is one that I might keep, but the rest of the plants that I got just did not look very good. This one doesn't look as bad right now because I removed about half of the foliage that it had because there was just red and dark brown spots everywhere. When I looked it up, it sort of looked like either leaf rust or leaf spot. There's still more leaves that have it. I need to go through and see what I can do about it, but I'm thinking about just returning them, honestly, because I paid way too much to receive plants that are not healthy. This is one of the trees that I was the most excited about, and then as I looked at it a bit closer, the day that I planted it, actually I started noticing that the leaves just do not look very good at all, and they had bug damage on literally every single leaf. And then the grapevines, let me go ahead and show you what those look like because that's one of the things that was the most upsetting to me. So I paid for potted grapevines and I received this in the mail. This one actually had 2 stems. Here's one of them. It just fell off. This is the only leaf that it had on it. I paid about $30 for a stick. And then the only green growth that it does have has black spots, and then it's dried up basically. And then this is the other one. So the reason I'm including this in the video is because I don't know how to feel. I can't even lie, I did cry yesterday. I was really upset, especially before I started cutting off some of the leaves. The plants just looked horrible. The grapes, I had paid for potted grapes. I basically received the bare root plant with no leaves, and the roots on them were really soggy and squishy and not in the best of conditions. And I popped them in the ground because I want to keep them alive so that I can ship them back to them. and be able to receive my refund. I'm including this towards the end because I don't want this whole video to be about, like, you know, this bad buying experience. I don't know if you guys have ever bought plants online from other nurseries, and I feel like I'm someone who always does a ton of research on companies before I purchase anything. But when it comes to plants, for some reason, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have looked more into the company. And I'm even more embarrassed because on Instagram, I tagged them in a story and I was telling people like, oh my gosh, this was such an awesome experience, because over the phone they're very helpful, I will give them that, but the actual plants that I received are just not in the best of health. Maybe I can buy other products to treat them, but if I paid $30+ for one plant and it comes diseased, I feel like that's not worth the money, you know? That's why I was really upset more than anything. Let me just backtrack a little bit. So when my package of plants arrived, I was so excited. I was literally shaking as I was opening them. I was just so happy, and my husband was recording me. And when I started taking the plants out, he asked me, why do they look dead? Why do they look like that? And I was like, no, that's how they're supposed to look, because they go through shock as they're, you know, being shipped across several states. So they're gonna go through some shock and lose some leaves. But then as I was potting them up the next day, I kept thinking, you know, why do they look like this? I understand that they're gonna drop some leaves, but the leaves that they do have look very, very bad. Even the plants that are on clearance at the big box nurseries that I go to don't look this bad. And I understand that a lot of plants are going dormant right now, but the state of the leaves when they arrived just was not good at all. And all of the leaves inside of the box have the same black spots. And the grapes in particular, I paid a lot of money for those grapes, and to receive basically what is a bare root with the green stems already falling off, and some of them, they just don't look good. And the other drier parts of the grapevines were very, very brittle. Like as I was planting them, parts of them just kept flaking off. So for that reason, I don't know, I just feel kind of dumb. I feel kind of dumb for not doing more research. And if you guys have ever bought plants online and you guys have had good experiences, I'm really happy for you. For my first time buying live plants, I feel like this was a huge letdown. And at first I told myself that I wasn't going to buy any more plants online. I was like, you know what? No, I'm only going to buy from the nurseries closest to me. And honestly, I don't have like smaller nurseries around me. I feel like it's quite a drive to get to any. The big box stores are closer to me, and if I can support a small business, I will. So at first I was like, you know what, I'm never going to purchase any other plants online. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, no, as long as I do my research and I look at their return policy and really just am more careful about where I purchase my plants from, I shouldn't just stop buying from other small businesses who do send out healthy plants. I hope that makes sense. So I emailed this company yesterday and I sent them a ton of pictures, and I also recorded what the plants looked like the day I received them, just in case they need any more documentation. I can show them exactly what it is that I received in the mail. And then they're not open until Monday, so Monday morning I'm gonna call, and on their website they say that they offer a no hassle back return. How do they say it? I think they say they have a no hassle return policy, and I have 15 days to return them. So I want to keep them alive until then and then return them as soon as possible and get my money back. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know if they will be easy to deal with or what. So I don't know, I just felt like I should include this in here because I like to document every portion of my garden journey, and I think plant buying is a huge part of it. I feel like when it comes to seeds, sometimes it's a hit or miss, but when you're paying $2 for seeds, if you only get a few that germinate, it still sucks, but it was only $2. If you pay a couple $100s for plants like I did, and you receive unhealthy diseased plants or plants that are not worth the money because they're just in a horrible shape, then I don't feel like I'm overreacting for being upset. But I'm just hoping that the company is easy to work with and that they're responsive and that they rectify this. I didn't know at first whether to ask for replacement plants or just for my return, but then I figured, what if I ask for a replacement and they send me another plant which is just as damaged, if not worse? I'd rather just get my refund and then purchase my plants elsewhere. I already found another online nursery that has really good reviews, and if I get my refund and I purchase from them, I'm gonna talk to them over the phone and ask all of the questions that I should have asked and see how that works out. Because as of right now, my first experience buying plants online has not been the greatest. And honestly, that's one of the reasons that I haven't even been gardening as much as I typically do. Normally, I'm out in the garden every single day and I try to film as much as possible. But the last few days, ever since I received the plants and I realized what had happened, I've just been feeling a little bit down just because, I don't know, I love my garden and feeling like I wasted a lot of money just kind of sucks, you know? So I'll give you guys an update in another video on the company and how they work things out. I hate to leave the vlog off on a negative note, but I think that's all of the updates for now. That's it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any online nurseries that you use and that you would recommend, please let me know so that I can check them out, because I do want to support other small businesses, but I don't want other experiences like this one. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.